Hello all, my name's Thomas. I work here at ePrep. I'm just going to quickly run through the student experience and how to use the program. So it's pretty straightforward. We've got the program set up kind of similar to an old school day. You got the homeroom, which is a general overview of what you're doing in the program. Exam room, which is where you take tests and watch videos. Study hall, where you can watch more videos that are subject lesson based. And then Wordsmith is our vocabulary builder. The real quick and dirty of the program is you take tests, you see what you got right and what you got wrong, and then you watch the videos from our expert tutor on how to properly go about answering the questions that you got wrong. So in the homeroom, you can create a schedule. Most students are looking to complete the program in a certain time frame or a certain fashion, so I'm just going to make one up right here for Joel. Let's say 2 tests, and I'm sure you guys are familiar. The ACT is broken up into 4 sections: reading, math, English, and science. So I'm just going to select all of those, and let's just say I'm only available for 2 days, and my start date is today. So I click create schedule, it gets created, and I can click here to view it. And again, this is just a brief overview of what you should be doing on what days. You can actually drag and drop this stuff and move it around. It's not a super important part of the program. Super important part of the program lives here in the exam room. Again, it's broken up just like a normal school day, just like a normal ACT. You've got English, math, reading, and science. Ideally, you would take an entire test all at once, but in class, I know, a whole test takes almost 4 hours, and I'm assuming you guys don't have 4-hour classes, so you're probably going to do one section at a time. So let's just start with English section since that's the first one. Program tells you a little pop-up about taking the test online. You can actually choose to take the test online or offline. I believe you guys are taking it online, and we're in an online environment here, so that's what I'm going to show you. So you click start your test. You get the normal instructions that you would get if you were going to take a real ACT. I'm just going to close those for now. And because this is the English section, you've got a passage on the left that you read through, and then you've got your question and answer choices on the right. You can flag a question in case you want to come back and review it later. You can select a choice, an answer choice, and it will automatically advance to the next question. You can show your answer sheet, so you've sort of seen where you are and where you've been and where you need to be. 75 questions in the ACT English section. We've also got a timer, and this is obviously important because after this timer comes down to 0, you will be timed out and your program will be over. Your section will be complete. Time management is obviously a very big deal when it comes to taking the ACT. We're also tracking how much time you spend on each individual question. So you'll notice there's another number, another timer next to the section timer, and that resets or refreshes every time you move on to a new question. So right now I'm just randomly clicking answers. Don't worry, Joel, if you're watching this, I will clear this out before you actually see it. So I'm just going through here, and you'll notice the passage on the left auto advances when it is appropriate for the questions that are given. You can always scroll up and scroll down on these passages, just to show you real quick here. You can also do all this work. I think Miss Lundy mentioned that you guys are using Chromebooks, but you can do this on an iPad, or a tablet I should say, if you want to. Oh, something I didn't mention as well is you can actually cross out answer choices here if I select them, and we record that information so that if you were able to narrow your answer choices down to a few, we'll record that you crossed a few out, and then you can look at whether you guessed right or not, and you'll also know that you guessed on that particular question. So after randomly filling a bunch of space and answers, I get to the end, and it says submit your answers. So I'm going to do that. It says, are you sure? I say yes. The program is going to instantly grade my section. Tells me what I got right, which is in green, and wrong, which is in red. And in the bottom right here, it's going to give me a raw score. Well, let's start at the top. It's going to give me how many I got right, how many I got wrong, and then my raw score, projected score, and what percentile. Obviously, I did relatively poorly because I was just guessing. Let's be honest, I I wouldn't do much better if I was taking this in real life. That time is come and gone. So we've got your answer versus the correct answer, how much time you spent on the question, and the difficulty level, whether it was easy, medium, or hard. So the program obviously is recommending I watch the videos to the answers that I got incorrect. And those videos are red. When I click this play button here under review, it immediately launches into the question that I was asked, and our expert tutor walks you through how to properly go about answering this question in the future. Now I have this muted, but normally you would hear him talking right now. Now after you've watched 80% of a video, this button right here actually turns from red to green. And that's only if you watch 80% uninterrupted. So if you fast forward, if you rewind, if you do anything other than watch the video, it won't count after 80%. And we do this because we want to try to accurately track that you're actually watching the video. We also have a feedback score here. You can leave a check or an X. The feedback means that in the future I would get this question right, so you leave a check, or in the future I would get this question wrong, so you leave an X. And it gives you an idea on how you would perform if you were to get a few more questions right, what your score would be. We actually populate that score down here. So if I were to say, oh, I'd get this question right in the future, I'd have 22 questions right instead of 21. That would actually give me a raw score of a 22, so it would actually bring my score up by 1, which is pretty big improvement. If you also notice, the red button turned to green, and that's because I watched the video 80% and uninterrupted. So what we want you to do ideally is go through here and watch every single one of these videos. And every one of these videos also has a study hall lesson that's related. As you can see, this particular one had 3 study hall videos. Now I can select these videos and it'll play right here, but what I'm going to do is jump over to the study hall so you can kind of see it, those videos and where they live. So right now I've only taken one section, one test, so there's not a lot of info in here, but these are some of the study hall videos. If I click to watch these videos come up and they are subject-based instead of particular question-based. They tend to be a little bit longer, and they're just general questions about general things. A lot of times it's strategy. In this particular miscellaneous video, I got 1 of these questions right. I got 2 of them wrong, so the program is recommending that I watch it versus a that which who question where I was only asked it once and I got it correct. If I want to see which questions that I got wrong in this particular subject area, I can actually look down here and see which number it was, the correct answer versus my answer, and I can watch that exam room video again. Last but of course not least is our Wordsmith. Wordsmith is basically a flashcards on steroids. Imagine if you sat there and made 1,500 flashcards. That's what Wordsmith is. So I can go through here and it'll show me a word and I can say whether that definition is true or false. Shows me a word and I can click what the definition is, or it shows me a sentence and I can pick the word that fits it. I'm just going to go through and click real fast on these. And again, just like in the exam room, at the end it shows me what I got right, what I got wrong. I can start a new test with all new words, or I can start a test with words that I missed and or skipped. So the idea of the Wordsmith is you just do this 10 minutes, 15 minutes every day to help increase your vocabulary. So to quickly recap, we got the Wordsmith, which is the vocabulary builder, study hall, which is subject lesson based videos, exam room, which is where we actually take the tests and then we watch the videos for the tests that we've taken, and then homeroom is just a general overview of what we're doing in the program, and if we've created a schedule, then we can track our progress in that schedule. Hopefully this has helped you guys, and the program's pretty intuitive and simple to use, but I know the first time you log into it, it might be difficult to understand. As always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to email us. My name's Thomas, and I hope this helped you all.